Ragebreed Mind, Body and Spirit on Ragebreed TV and Ragebreed Radio. Hi there, it's Karina from Ragebreed Mind, Body and Spirit. Hope you guys are doing well. So in this episode we're going to be talking about relationships and what a healthy relationship looks like as opposed to a toxic bond, okay? And it's very important for all of you to know that not everyone is going to be in a great state of mind in their lives at some point or other. We may all have been toxic, okay? So this is not to sort of say to people, oh, you've got to be perfect all the time. This is about looking at what you need first. So for example, if you're in a position where you've got a friend, say for example, and they have a repeated pattern of, say, hitting on the person that you're dating or you're with or you're seeing, you know, that is the definition of a toxic person, because this person is trying to take away what you have. This is usually because of jealousy, and it's usually an innate feeling of insecurity. So if they see you doing well, they want to take it off you. And in the past, I've had a lot of women in my life who were close to me who did this with someone I loved. Whether it be actually, it wasn't just one person, it was a few people. Now if a person says that they're your friend, okay, now for me friendship is meant to be about stability, loyalty, a safe place. You know, they should be able to talk to you freely, whether it's negative or positive. They should be able to have difficult conversations with you, but ultimately there is meant to be trust there. So they're not going to be self-serving, they're going to be thinking about your heart above their own. What the problem is with most of society is that everyone becomes very self-serving, and it's not to a point whereby, they're thinking, oh, how will this damage the other person? A lot of people just do it because they're selfish. And I've noticed an ongoing pattern, in certain people, and you can see how selfish that what they do, that there doesn't seem to be any kind of empathy or remorse for how they hurt people. And this is why so many people right now are having relationship problems, because there's too much selfishness going on, because they're not thinking about what a relationship is. Now, a relationship is two people negotiating boundaries and saying this is unacceptable or this is. It is about saying to the other, this harms my heart, so please don't do it. And it's about negotiation and making sure that both are on the same page. Now, if one person is, say, for example, cheating on the other person, and the other person is getting traumatized and hurt, then there is an imbalance. Okay, this person is either not taking responsibility or accountability of being a safe place for that person, or the person is not ready to be in a proper committed relationship. And this is the problem that many people have, because the grass is always greener on the other side. So what tends to happen is you get a lot of people, say in social media, and they're in couples, but then it also opens up a whole world of temptation, because let's face it, everyone that sees a pretty picture may say, oh, you're beautiful, but it is your boundary to not go there sexually with that person. And that is what a loyal person does. It's okay to accept a compliment, it's going to happen. You can't stop other people from fancying you and all those things. That's going to happen, okay? But the difference is it's how you respond. So if you're going to sit there and message them and then start creating a sexual relationship with the person, to me that's wrong. Now, in terms of friendships, I have no issue with friendships. I have no issue with men and women talking to each other. Not a problem. It's dependent on where it goes. So for example, if you start to become sexual with that person while in a relationship, and start talking dirty to them and things like that, then there's a problem, right? So that's the thing. You could be talking to somebody as a friend, and that's not a problem at all. And if the other person may have some feelings for you, as long as you're clear that you're just friends with them, there's no problem. For me, I have no issues with hugging somebody. I have no issues with chatting to people, having deep conversations, not a problem. But as soon as it gets sexual and you're in a relationship with someone, for me, that's wrong. Now, this varies between different people. Some people, have different ideas of what cheating is and things like that. But that's for you two both to discuss. So let's talk about the damage that a toxic friendship or a toxic relationship can do to you. Now, the reason why we have friendships and the reason why we have relationships is to have a safe place, okay? And if the person is showing you behaviours that are not safe, this could be anything from lack of communication and not talking to you properly, and hot and cold and this kind of behaviour. They could be quite abusive, like, putting you down, indirectly putting you down, controlling, there's so many aspects to this. And the problem with when you break trust with someone, it's very difficult to get it back. So if you're the kind of person that has betrayed your friend or maybe you're someone who's betrayed your partner, once you've shattered that trust, it's very difficult to reform that trust again, because your behaviours and how you treat people as a human being is what is being judged. So if you're continuously allowing, say for example, other women to be sexual with you and you're being sexual with them, well, that tells you about your character, that you have weak boundaries. And the problem with having weak boundaries in a relationship is that you cannot commit properly because you're allowing other people in. If you care enough about the bond that you're with, your mentality should be, I want to protect that person's heart, and therefore I will have behaviours that will align with that. Not about, I want to do what I want to do and behave single while you're in a relationship, because then why are you in a relationship? Because all you're doing is hurting the other person. It's the same with friendships. If you've got a friend who claims that they're your best friend but then is going behind your back and hitting on the people that you love, like the person that you love, I mean, how can you say that you're a good friend by doing those things? It means that there is deception, and deception is basically, it creates heartbreak. And it doesn't just create heartbreak, it creates trauma. And what people don't realise is that they think that they're being powerful or sneaky or clever, but all they're doing is making another person suffer. And then you've got the karma that is attached to that, because what happens is the universe has to balance itself out. So whatever bad things that you do will always come back on you tenfold, always. It's just the way the universe works. So whatever karma you're putting out there, it will come back on you. It just has to happen that way, because, this is the way of the world. So if you spend your life deceiving people, that karma will come back on you. It always does. And then once you've realised, it'll be too late. And usually people ask me quite often, why do bad things happen? It's suffering happens to diffuse your ego. It happens because, it's basically cause and consequence. So for example, say if you are a person that has cheated on someone consistently, well, there's going to be consequences of that, because that person's going to get hurt, that person's going to try and move on, or there's going to be difficult conversations and you're going to have to change your behaviours and things like that. So that's part of the way that karma works. But it's you've got to be the kind of person that thinks like this, that whatever my choices are, is it aligning with being a good person? And look, say for example someone cheats on you and you have a reaction, you're angry, you have every right to be angry. We have all these negative emotions and positive emotions for a reason, okay? The reason is not to hurt people, the reason is in self-defense, because people have the ability to hurt you when, some people have different upbringings to reflect on what's right and wrong. Now, for me, it's very important in a relationship to have healthy trust, okay? But that trust cannot happen if some person is breaking it all the time by being deceptive all the time, because all that's going to do is create instability in the relationship. Now, when you focus on being in a relationship, you have to be the kind of person that you're proud of, okay? And the reason why I say that is so many people enter relationships when they're insecure and they've not really got a life purpose, they've not got their shit together. Sometimes another person heals that and you both have this beautiful healing journey together, okay? And sometimes, you can meet each other when, you're in a completely different scenario, whereby you have got your shit together, or maybe the other person hasn't, or maybe it's vice versa. It's when you meet someone and, you're in a sort of, in a certain, look, sometimes you meet people in life and it can be at the right time, it can be at the wrong time, and timing has a big part to play in whether bonds succeed or not. So what I would say to you is, if you have to really know who you are, what your moral code is, what is right and wrong, what you will accept and what you won't accept, and sometimes, and I can speak from experience, is that sometimes I've entered relationships where that other person doesn't have a moral code, where it's acceptable to be, behave single, and that isn't really, that to me is pure selfishness, because the whole purpose of a relationship is to make decisions for the relationship. You become an item because you've bonded, and therefore your decisions is based on the bond together, right? It can't, if you're the kind of person that just wants to behave single while having love given to you but not returning it, that's abuse. It's quite simply abusive. So if you're the kind of person that does that and think that's okay, it's not okay. So you have to understand that when you make a choice, when you say, for example, you fall in love with someone, then it's up to you to value that relationship, and you have to be someone that is stable and secure, that can hold that person's heart and protect it, and have healthy boundaries. And I will talk about that next. Okay, so what do healthy boundaries look like? Well, it depends on the type of relationship that you have. And this can vary because arguably there are so many different types of relationships in this day and age that boundaries can differ dependent on the relationship. So for example, if two people have an open relationship, their boundaries will be different. If two people have a monogamous relationship, then the healthy boundaries are very, very important to put in place. Now, the reason why I believe that monogamy is very important is because what you're trying to do, and the reason for monogamy, for it to work, is to basically say that I'm going to look after your heart. I'm going to protect your heart and not break it. And the whole point of a relationship is to create safety and stability. It is meant to be a place where you can relax and be yourself with and love the other person, and the other person loves you back. And that creates security, okay? So the reason why monogamy is such an important thing is it creates that safety. And it means that you're able to put healthy boundaries towards temptation of other women or other men, or whatever agenda. It is about saying that I will protect this bond and put you first. It's not about I, it's about us. That is what monogamy is about. Now, for a lot of people, you know, in this day and age especially, some people have different types of relationships, but for me, knowing what the human psyche is about, a lot of people need to live in safety. Otherwise, your body is constantly in fight or flight, okay? Because you've not got that safety, right? So when people end up in scenarios where, you know, there is no safety in that bond, they're constantly in fight or flight. And that is actually very abusive. So, you know, it's important, and it's extremely important. This is the thing. Recognize toxic treatment and decide whether that person is capable of changing, and if they're not, then cut the cord. Because the thing is, I mean, you can even put them at an arm's length, but the problem is, if you allow this kind of energy into your life, it will completely consume you, because you're constantly dealing with their issues and their insecurities. So as an example, I used to have a lot of toxic friends in my, you know, in the scene, okay, and they were belittling me, taking the piss, you know, just being nasty, trolling, you know, bitching, two-faced, cruel, abusive, you name it. So it got to a point where I was constantly in fight or flight because I couldn't sense the energy, but they were nice to my face. Yet behind my back they were, you know, causing all this rubbish. And then I started seeing like statuses, and then I saw, you know, people were texting me and telling me that they'd said this and that, and you know, and it was getting to a point where just drama was consuming my life, and I just didn't have time for it. Like, my mental health is so important, you know, it's the most important, because your health comes first. And these people were abusing my trust. They were disrespecting me. Their treatment did not match my worth. And that's when I did a cull. I did a cull of people that I knew were untrustworthy. And you know what? My life ended up being so much better for them not being in my life, because I didn't have to deal with their issues all the time. It's not okay to sit there and be around people that are jealous of you, and not just jealous, just mocking you, just being assholes to you, you know. That people don't seem to understand why people put blocks up towards them, because they're so used to disrespecting themselves and each other. How dare someone actually have some self-worth and say, sorry, this is not on. You know, it's kind of like, and I'll give a good example of this. I used to have a friend that used to hit on everyone. Like, you know, I'm talking like, if I ever got with somebody or anyone showed interest in me, literally hitting on them all the time. And then had the audacity to post about empathy and things like that. And I'm thinking, I don't think you were very empathic when you were hitting on the people that you knew that had feelings for, you know. And this is the hypocrisy of people like this, because they think that you're being cold when actually, no, you're protecting your mental health because you know that they're toxic. You know, at the end of the day, if you're around people that are self-serving and only care about themselves, they are not going to care about you and your relationship. They will hit on the person that you love. You know, they see it as like fun, you know. It's disgusting. It really is disgusting. And it's like people have become so disposable and self-serving. And actually, if you really want healthy relationships in your life, then they've got to have the same code of ethics as you. That's how you build safe environments. And so many people have forgot that. It's all become about sex. It's all become about ego-filled type of, you know, behaviours. You know, it's kind of like, oh, I just want to get with lots of women to make my, you know, ego look big. You know, and a lot of it, and I will say this, is because a lot of the music business promotes that, you know, in the mainstream media and stuff, that, oh, you know, that men should just have loads of different women, cars, money, and that makes them some kind of hero, which really it's not that. I think what makes a man a hero is how he has healthy boundaries, and this means you know, saying no to temptation, honouring his woman, because a true king has self-confidence. They don't need ego validation. obviously, if you are a public figure, you're always going to get praise from people. I'm talking about them acting on it. So say if they had like loads of women throwing themselves at them and he was in a relationship, I would expect the kind of guy I respect and find sexy is the kind of guy that would say sorry, but you know, my heart is with my queen, you know, that's all I care about. And it should be like second nature to put that healthy boundary up and say, sorry love, you know, I'm not interested. That's sexy to me. Like, I think a man that is loyal, a man that is extremely like caring and isn't afraid to show off his woman and the relationship, that is a beautiful thing. That I think that is a very powerful thing. And the more men that I see doing this on Facebook, the more respect that I have for a man, because I feel like, you know, you are empowering your woman, whereas a lot of these scenes they disempower women. And actually, you need to be an equal force, men and women together, you know, or whatever gender, you know, whether you're in a relationship or friendship, you know, if you empower each other, you rise together. It shouldn't be about competition or ego. It should be about togetherness and rising together, whether it's your friendships, whether it's your family, whether it's, you know, your relationships or friendship, you know, or anything, even work situations. We affiliate to rise together. You know, and that is how you get rid of, you know, this kind of jealousy aspect and, you know, people hurting each other and trying to, you know, disrespect their partners and things like that. It's about having that integrity for yourself and other people. It's about respect, which has been lost. If you have self-respect and you have respect for other people, you can't go wrong. You know, other people, you're always going to be faced with other people's insecurities. That's just life. But then it's within your power to set healthy boundaries towards toxic people, because it's not necessarily, you know, you're not there to save everybody. You're not. I used to try and save everybody, and I got burned. You know, it's okay to try and help people, but not so it's detriment to your own life. You know, and it's a lesson that I get put into over and over again, because I am someone that tries to heal people. I am someone who tries to coach, and I am a life coach. I did, you know, counselling at uni and things like that. So for me, you know, I am the kind of person that tries to fix, but then I attract a lot of people that haven't got there yet, you know, that they're still broken, you know, and it's difficult because the problem when you attract people like this is that they put their issues onto you and you're the one that ends up getting hurt. So it's important to establish your healthy boundaries, to say this is unacceptable, and if they keep ignoring your boundaries, then you have to say goodbye.
When it's like a dream, when a moment's far away from me, and the world just stops for my own scene, and I cannot stop this pure aching. When you hold me, show me that your love can feel like heaven, but your fear can feel like hell. When you hold me, and just show me when I cannot see, when the moments make me blind to feel, when it hurts to cry once more, and the only thing that I have left is a grieving door, a grieving door. When you hold me, and you show me that your love can feel like heaven, that your fear can feel like hell. When you hold me, and you show me that your love can feel like heaven, but your fear can feel like hell. So many words, so many promises that had never set me free. So many dreams, so many heartbreaks, and it's not the man I see. Did you feel it when my tears fell down like rain? Did you feel it when your silence felt my name? Silence felt my name. Silence felt my name. Your silence felt my name. Ooh, silence felt my name. When your silence felt my name. Ooh, silence felt my name. The day after I am lost, searching for the dignity that I forgot. Walk with me, for this was never real to you. To you. Ooh. this way? Is it me, or am I lost again? 'Cause I'm lost without you. When you hold me closer and breathe, when the shadows have no place to sleep, and the moonlight seeks dreamers to yield, lost in midnight
I won't even ask you why. Help me believe again, 'cause I feel like I am falling down. Make me whole again. Feel every part of me. I will surrender to you. Don't let the pain hurt me. And I feel the wilderness fighting inside of me. Come closer to my soul again. Reach out for hope's mortality. Ah, ah, ah. Breathe into me. In a trance, you enhance what I feel again. Questions why let hope die, so I will heal again. Make me whole again. Feel every breath in me. I will surrender to you. Just please don't betray me, for I'll feel the emptiness rising inside of me. Come closer to my passion. Let it be for eternity. Ah, ah. Breathe into me. Trance, you enhance what I feel again. Questions why let hate die, so we can heal again. close to me. I'm waiting to fly away from this place. The years pass me by, memories fading, memories fading. The dream is my love, always connecting me to what I nearly had, so close to me. I'm waiting to fly away from this place. The years pass me by, memories fading, memories fading, memories fading, memories fading. So hopeless, we don't dream anymore. So hopeless, where will we go? Reach out for validation by hurting others, just in case they hurt us. The patterns of non-existence, the patterns of what is real. So hopeless, we don't scream anymore. So hopeless, reach out for validation by hurting others, just in case they hurt us. The patterns of non-existence, the patterns of what is real. once more. You will love from this again. Love is from your core. You will be free. Eternally. Darkness closes in. I am feeling lost again. I run through the forest, feeling nature once again. Ooh, the patterns of my mind. When I was left behind, the patterns of my mind, it's always wisdom that I find. The water's coming in, feeling the lake is healing me. I thank the universe, my dreams become reality.